Hello friends. Today we're going to talk about your paper clutter. So if you have paper in drawers and corners and boxes in the attic, anywhere in your home that you're not really going through on a regular basis, that is paper clutter. It can consist of just a history of things that you've taken off the top of the counter and thrown into a box in the office because people are coming over and you never touched it again. It can be kids' schoolwork from over the years and your kids are 40 years old. It can be so many things. So here's what I want you to do with your paper clutter. I want you to add it up in your head. How many feet is it? If you were to take each piece of paper and stack it on the other, how many feet approximately would it be? Most ceilings are 8 feet tall. Would it be 8 feet? Would it be more? Would it be less? No matter what your number is, whether it's 2 or 24 feet, you have a finite number of paper things that you can work on and get rid of to get that pressure off of you to make more room in your home and release some valuable real estate for storing in or living in your home. So, how do we get rid of it and how long will it take? If you take a little stack of paper, just a little stack of paper, I want you to take 6 inches of it, whether it's in a notebook, in a spiral bound notebook, if it's just loose leaf pages, if they're in envelopes, just measure out 6 inches. Take that 6-inch stack and put it in a place that you can look at it in the morning, because you're going to look at this every morning. Don't freak out, it's going to be easy. What you're going to do is take 1 inch of paper Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 6 inches, 1 inch of paper each day of the week in the morning, right after your morning routine, while you're drinking your coffee before you get your kids up. You're going to take 1 inch. Now, if you don't know how much 1 inch is, because I don't want you to overestimate, it's this. It's between this knuckle and this knuckle on your pointer finger, right here to here. That's 1 inch. So you're going to pull off 1 inch, whether it's in a notebook, a spiral bound notebook, or loose leaf. You pull 1 inch off. You're going to sit down and you're going to go through it very quickly. So you're going to start by removing the paper from its binder if it's in some kind of a notebook. Unless you have a dire need immediately for a notebook just like that, then you can't keep it. Put it in your giveaway stack. Okay? You don't need hundreds of notebooks, or 3 or 6. If you don't need them, you don't need them. I don't care how much you spent for them. I don't care that you bought them on sale at Staples last year. You don't need them if you don't need them, so get rid of them, okay? Now we're going to go through the paper itself. So that's going to reduce your paper down a little bit. So you're going to go through your paper and you're looking for things that require action. So an action would be filing something. An action would be paying something. An action would be reaching out to someone regarding this paper. An action would be making a note in your planner. Those are your action items. So file, pay, make a note in your planner, or respond to someone. Those are basically what you're going to be doing with action items. So as you're going through these papers, you're going to run across things that you don't know what to do with. And that's going to cause you consternation, because it's going to be things that you're going to feel sentimental about. Oh, this was a letter from my grandmother to my grandfather. It was just a little letter that he sent her, and it doesn't really say much, but it was from him to her, so I should keep it. That is not the right answer. Unless you're going to be putting things together in some kind of a historical collection for your grandparents because they are of historical value, you're not going to keep that. Because today we don't write letters to each other, we send texts. How would you like your grandchildren to go through all your texts and keep all your text? A little note, honey, please pick up eggs on your way home, does not need to be saved. Even a little letter doesn't need to be saved. again, unless you're curating some kind of a museum for this historical grandparent that you have, it needs to go away. Now, you might want to take a picture of it so you can look at it from time to time. Eventually, you'll get rid of that. You don't need those kinds of things. There are going to be old birthday cards. There are going to be Christmas cards. There are going to be pictures in a Christmas card, or it might be the Christmas card. Those things you don't need to keep. Also, you'll find other pictures. You'll find pictures that you got of your grandchildren, if you have grandchildren, or nieces or nephews, the little kind that go in your wallet, that you know no longer looks like them, and you don't need to keep it, because guess what? Their parents have the big 8x10 or the 5x7. You don't need to keep that. If they had a photographer come out and take their picture under the oak tree with the matching clothes for Christmas, and it says Merry Christmas across the bottom, you enjoyed it at Christmas, they've got the original in your home, their home, you can see it when you visit them. You don't need a picture that says Merry Christmas across the bottom. Okay? You make your own decisions, but I'm giving you some guidance. What I do is kiss the picture and throw it away, or the card or whatever it is, and throw it away. It releases me from guilt just to kiss it and throw it away. I'm not saying I don't love someone because I threw a picture away or a card away. I'm not saying that I won't ever remember them again because I threw it away. I'm saying I don't need this paper clutter in my home. So I'd like you to start doing that. For filing, let's talk about taxes first. Most of you fall into the category that the IRS says is for the majority of people, and you can look it up online, and I actually recommend that you do, that says that the IRS will not audit you past 3 years. So you don't need to save more than 3 years of taxable documentation. So if we're in year 2021, it doesn't count this year, but it'd be 20, 19, and 18. Those are the 3 years you would keep. So anything from 17 on, you would be throwing away. So only keep those 3 years. Now, I don't want you to assume that you're one of these people. Please look at the online documentation for the U.S. Government regarding your income tax, because you may fall into a category that requires you to keep more. But don't default and keep more because you don't know. Just look. Most people are only 3 years, okay? Okay. So the rest gets shredded. Now, the only thing you can throw away a lot of things without shredding. The things you need to shred are things with Social Security number on it. That means not the whole document, just the part with the Social Security number, or a bank account number on it. Your name and address is everywhere. In fact, people who are going to steal your identity and things like that generally don't go through the garbage. They go through online services. So make sure you have good protection online. All right, but also know that everything is online. When I was a banker, people would say, "Oh, I don't want to do online banking." They're already on online banking. They just don't know it. When I pulled up their information, it was on online banking. I could access everything that was on the computer about them. Their statements were on online banking. It's all there. So you might as well have online banking so you can monitor your accounts yourself in real time. Okay, that's an aside. So we're talking about filing. Other things that people load their file cabinets up with are explanation of benefits from medical companies that say, okay, you had to go to the doctor for this, and we paid this much, and you paid this much, and blah, blah, blah. If that's already been paid and you feel confident that that has been taken care of, then you can throw that away. You don't have to keep it. There's no need to keep it. Very rarely will you need anything like that, and if you do, your insurance company has a copy of it for you. Statements, credit card statements, banking account statements, you don't need those. They're online. If you need a copy, you can go online and generally get one from the last 7 years yourself and have it printed out, or you can call the bank and have them print you one. And if you need something for some strange reason that goes back into the archives, they can pull one of those for you too. It might be a small fee, but well worth not having all this paper weighing you down in your house. So start getting rid of those things. Other things that people file that shouldn't be filed are every single thing your child ever produced in art class. or if you're a homeschooler, everything they produce. You know, children are very creative and they love to produce, but you don't have to keep everything. So if you find yourself in this predicament, your children are grown, then my suggestion is put it in a box and send it to them and say, here's all your stuff from when you were a kid. Here's your report cards, and here's your, they don't even do report cards, I don't think, out printed out anymore, but in the day, you know, here's your all your art projects, here's your reports that you did, here's your books left over from college. I don't need these, and I'm sure you'll enjoy them. And then if they don't want to enjoy them, then they'll throw them away, or they'll say, don't even send them to me, I don't want to look at them, throw them away. Well, they're not yours, they're theirs, throw them away. If for some reason you feel like you just absolutely want to keep 1 or 2 or 3 things a year from them, then do that. Keep 1 or 2, 3 things a year, pick out your favorites and save that. But don't save all the minutia that they've created. If you have little children now that are currently producing for you, my suggestion is that you have them have a little cord in their bedroom, push pinned into the wall with some clothespins on it. And I know that IKEA makes a little metal one with pins already made onto it. But anyway, it's so that they can display their favorite artwork. And maybe it only holds 6 things. Each time they produce something else, they say, Mommy, I want to keep this. And you say, great, let's go in your bedroom and pick out which one you don't want to keep, and we'll put this one in place. At the end of the year, you can have 6 things that you're going to keep. It doesn't matter if it's the last 6 things they did or it's things that they held on to all year long. That's what you keep. Everything else you admire, you put it on the refrigerator for a few days, and the next thing that comes in, you take that one off. Okay? All right. And then the last thing is other things that are going to be filed that you need to file. Things like your birth certificate, your baptismal certificate, your confirmation certificate, your wedding license, your marriage license, your wedding certificate, you know, things like that, that you're going to save those things. You'll also maybe find things that need to be filed that have to do with finances because you found a bond or a stock and you've decided you don't want to trade it in or cash it in, so you put that in a special file. You might find cash. That's always nice. You can do whatever you want with that. But you're going to get this giant file cabinet really squeezed down. You don't need to keep all those things. Okay, that's paper. You're going to have an inbox for your paper. That inbox can be purchased at the Dollar Tree, just a little plastic 4-sided 8x10 box, so that when you get mail in, you can determine if it's garbage. Most of mine is garbage. I throw it away. Or if it's something that requires action. It needs to be filed, it needs to be acted on, like call somebody, it needs to be put in my planner, or I need to pay it. Okay, those would be the only things. And so those are what go in your inbox. If you're only going through 1 inch a day, 6 inches a week, you're not going to have a whole lot in your inbox. And that's good, because on planning and desk day, you have to handle your inbox every week. Planning and desk day, you have to go through that box. So if you're throwing everything in there, then you're going to have to go through it again. It's not smart. So go through it as you get it. When you're walking in from the mailbox or the post office box, go through it and immediately shred the stuff you don't want. Okay? All right. That's paper clutter. That's how you go through it. Now, you might find paper clutter, like I said, in the attic, in the basement, in boxes under your desk in the office, in drawers, in files. You're going to have to go through that. And I'm going to suggest that you take it out and stack it up. Maybe you have 2 or 3 stacks in this room, but you no longer have to have all this stuff in drawers and boxes and things like that. It's just stacked up. So if you have 2 feet of paper and you go through 6 inches a week, in 2 weeks you'll go through 12 inches, which is 1 foot or half of it. And in 4 weeks, you're going to go through 2 feet of it. So in 1 month, it will be gone and you won't have paper clutter. If you have 24 feet and you go through 2 feet a month, 24 divided by 2 means it's going to take you 1 year or 12 months to get rid of this paper that's been hounding you all these years. So start going through an inch a day and throwing it away, throwing it away, throwing it away. You'll get better at it as you do it. Don't waste time making decisions. Pre-program your mind so that you know already what you're going to do. It takes about 3 minutes to go through an inch of paper. Ooh, look. Ooh, look, I better put this in my planner. This is Mary's birthday. I forgot about this. It's an invitation to her party, or it's an invitation to a shower, or it's a sticky that I threw in there that mean I need to put something in my planner, but I couldn't get to my planner. So these things are going to go in my planner. Okay? All right, so that's it for today. That's paper clutter. Let's get it done. Having a date for the end is so rewarding. So, oh, and one more thing I want to talk about. If you have a business and you've taken a lot of notes and lots of things, and you've got all that stuff stuck in your office, think about how often you've really relied on that. Most of the time we take notes so it will imprint on our mind. I know in my experience in business for 40 years, I might have a stack of paper this high and maybe 2 pieces of that I used on a regular basis. So that would need to be pulled out, typed up, put in a page protector and stuck on the wall, or put in a special file so when that situation occurred, I had it. But the other stuff, the other classes I had to go to, I didn't really need that after a while. And so keep it for a little bit to decide if you need it, but get rid of that stuff. You don't need it. Okay, that's it. Have a wonderful day, and always remember to be beautiful, because you are beautiful.